rogue military black ops. Humans raiding the pet shops, food scarce, children scared, realizing there's no heroes or champs. Public schools become concentration camps, laws vamp, only statutes. The ones that oppose the gun cock you, that stocks and revenue.
Peace, love, and blessings. This is Grand Kush. Thanks for tapping in. If you are new to the channel, this is the Grand Kush channel where we deal with all things blackness. We deal with all things black, hip-hop, consciousness, history, current events, what have you, right? This is the black channel. We're about to go in. Salute to the new subscribers. This is Dane Calloway, some of y'all's favorite chief, some of y'all's final chief. This is what he's being called. Dane Calloway just posted. He's going into his archives and posting old debates and things of that nature. And this is a good debate, right? Because it shows that Dane Calloway does not know what he is talking about. Okay? And he debates people who ain't really got the sauce for him, right? He debates people who really can't compete with his rhetoric because they don't study what he studies. We're about to go in, right? And we're about to flame this guy up. So before we go into the video, let's set it up like this, okay? Your boy Dane Calloway is saying there's a difference between Native Americans and American Indians, okay? He contradicts himself. He says that the American Indians were always here, okay? The Native American terminology didn't come until the Know Nothing political party, which termed themselves the Native American Party, and then dropped the Native, right? And just called themselves the American Party. This is in the era of nativism. I think that's how you pronounce that, right? So the Know Nothings formed and founded themselves in 1844. What I'm going to show you, right, that American Indian or Indian is a misnomer, okay? These original inhabitants of North America didn't call themselves Indian, all right? These people was colonized under this term. And in the usage of the term, it is being used to identify with the colonizing, right? And to gain respect, rights, what have you, under the term. But original peoples of the Western Hemisphere didn't call themselves Indian. It's a misnomer. Also, what this is going to reveal is that Dane Calloway simply, he doesn't have the intellect, okay? What Dane Calloway has, and I will give him credit for it, is he makes great, entertaining videos, right? He can put a video together to draw on or pull on your heartstrings, right? Okay. Dane Calloway likes to play on your emotions. And look up the definition of emotion, and then you can understand what I'm saying. Without no further ado, we're going to go into the video, and I'm going to collapse on y'all's chief, right? So everything that he says in here, we're going to show, we're going to reflect it, we're going to bring the information, we're going to bring the references, right? And I dare the guy to try to clean it up. Let's go. This is Dane Calloway. He is on Sonnetter's channel, but he reposted this on his channel. And, you know, the title is disrespectful. The dude is a narcissist. He's all in his ego and stuff. He think he got it like that, right? Because y'all have chosen to call this dude your chief, okay? Hey, Dane Calloway was trying to do a lot of things. He was trying to be a rapper, nothing wrong with that. He tried to be a gamer with his wife. Nothing is wrong with that. But none of that was working. None of that was getting no money in his pocket, right? So he hit you with, I'm just here to make you think. This is where he's pulling on your emotions, okay? So we're going to listen to it. I'm going to give my 9 cents, and then we're going to slap with the references.
No, because you just put me in the background. I have another question.
Go ahead, Reggie.
So, Dan Calloway, you do believe that 98% of African Americans are, in fact, Native Americans, and they are owed millions of dollars. You do. That is what you believe, right?
It's not about what I believe. It's about what I could actually prove.
Okay. All right.
See, in his chat, right? He's hitting you with these sound bites, you know, like he's destroying the room. Let's give the title, man. Look at the title. Dane Calloway schools 2 Afrocentric pan goofies in a debate. Dane Calloway, you're a goofy, okay? He keeps throwing these little sound bites in there as if he's saying something that's on point, man. Come on, kill that noise. Let's go.
So now the 2% are Africans who came over on the slave trade with that analysis, right? So you believe that only 2% came over on the that you can prove. I'm just having a conversation.
You assuming you didn't know what the other 2% was about. You didn't know what the other 2% was about, but
nobody knows what the other 2% is about because you wrote this erroneous work, Dane, right? There's no statistical information behind what you're talking about. You didn't reference the 2%. Nobody knows what the 2%, but 98% of African Americans are indeed Native Indians are owed millions. That's bullshit. Where you get that from?
I'm talking about, yeah, that's what I'm about to tell you. I'm talking about our, one second, I'm talking about our people that were already here. We didn't come off of no slave ships. We were already here. I'm referring to those people. Not the ones that mix with foreigners, whether it be Central or South America or Africa and Europe. I'm not referring to none of those people. I'm talking about the indigenous people of this landmass. And by the way, that article was done in 2015, 2016, so I have put out more information.
So the original inhabitants of North America didn't mix in with any foreigners?
And just that.
It's up.
Okay, no. So now we do know from the Marshall Trilogy that Native Americans, right? Or that
I'm not referring to Native Americans. That's where you're making your mistake.
Because
you're making a mistake right there. I'm not referring to Native Americans.
So you're not. No, I'm asking.
No, let me explain. Hold up a second. Let me explain. There's a difference between American Indians and Native Americans.
No, it's not.
Native Americans have nothing to do with being indigenous to this landmass. Have you ever Have you ever heard of the?
Yes, they do. That's not true. Okay. Native American and Indian is interchangeable depending on who you're talking to.
The political party.
Just like Negro and Black is interchangeable depending on who you're talking to. African American, Negro, Black, interchangeable depending on who you're talking to.
Party called the Know Nothings. It's the third largest political party during the time period of the Federalists and the Whigs.
I can't talk to it right now.
It's the third largest political party during the time period of the Federalists and the Whigs. It was called the Native American Party. That's where that term came from. And that was nothing but people that were of Protestant religious belief that wanted to go against the Catholics at that time while trying to come over here. Keep in mind, the white people were leaving from enslavement. They were running from enslavement, aka transportation. You ever heard of the Bloody Code?
Okay, in the Bloody Code, these foreigners wasn't running from enslavement. The Bloody Code and the Transportation Act got things to do with crimes, unanswered crimes that began to build up in England. And so we know they sent their criminals over here, right? But it had nothing to do with enslavement. Those people weren't enslaved at that time.
The Bloody Code, UK. You ever heard of that? Oh, I mean, I'm not trying to go over your head with this information, but you gotta understand what would happen with their people first in order to understand what happened with our people.
Why?
No, I am. Yeah. Okay, so I'm more interested in our people. So so what I'm trying to ask you is that what I'm trying to ask is, okay, so the Native Americans is different than the American Indians. The Native Americans.
Now, peep gang. Reggie said, I'm concerned with our people. A brother by the name of Rob Bornks, I listened to this already to be able to smash. He's talking about our people, right? Dane Calloway is trying to be a separatist. You understand what I'm saying? He's trying to say it's Indians versus blacks, Indians versus Africans, Indians versus black people who think they have African ancestry. This is what he's trying to call static right there. Niggas is trying to get this shit clear. What you talking about, right?
You say was already here, right? And
incorrect. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Anything, right?
That is not what I said.
Okay, so what? Okay, so the Native Americans, the American Indians, are our people. So you say, right?
Well, no.
That's
yes.
You gotta do your genealogy.
No. Hold up. What you gotta understand. What's this brother's name? What's your name?
Genealogy, but
all he had to do was say yes or no, nigga. Say yes or no. Okay, say yes or no.
Your name?
My name is Brother Reggie.
Reggie? It sounds like to me you only, you're not listening to what I just told you. You're listening to what you want to hear. What I'm trying to explain to you
I'm asking
is that
you questions.
I'm about to, I understand, and I'm answering. Hold up a second. I'm answering. Wait a minute.
I want
listen to me.
Know.
Hold up, Reggie. Okay. One second. I'm explaining to you that there's a difference between the two. I also told you who the Native Americans are. You understand what I'm saying? But I already told you who the American Indians are with proof. And it's a few things that I mentioned that you're unfamiliar with. So if you don't like the way I answered your question, that's not my problem.
Relax and take notes. Take notes.
No, didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm listening. I'm just asking you some questions. So the group, there's a difference between American.
You trying to bypass what I just said?
American. No, I just said what you said, right? There's a difference between the two groups, right? So what I'm asking you is, how do you separate the group that you said was already here?
And I already told you
the groups of Africans.
But when I told you, you didn't like my answer. You didn't like the answer that I gave you because you're unfamiliar with certain things that I told you.
No, I didn't.
You told me that you were not familiar.
So the separation is the know-nothings, which was founded in 1844. So Dane Calloway is saying that the term Native American was never in usage before that. All right. And this is his prime identifier of separation, the know-nothings. The know-nothings is the proof that Dane Calloway is an American Indian. And that is the separator, because the know-nothings brought Native American.
You with the know
I didn't
nothings.
like the answer.
1 second. You told me that you were not familiar with the know nothings. So that means you have no idea of the Native American Party, which was the third largest political party during the time period of the Federalists and the Whigs. That's the time I'm talking about. That moniker, Native American, was utilized. Prior to that, there were no Native Americans.
Fatality.
Okay,
American Indians have always been here.
Right there. Okay. He said American Indians have always been here. Okay. They was here before the colonizers came in. They were called American Indians and things of that nature. We know Indian comes from Christopher Columbus. I don't know why this has to keep being repeated. There will be no Indians in America if it wasn't for Christopher Columbus and his Spanish people.
I didn't say that you said it, but apparently you're re-asking the same question, and I'm telling you what the answer is, and I'm telling you that you didn't like my answer because you're re-asking the same question. I gave you an answer.
No,
all right, let me see. Rob Brown, you got any questions, brother?
My question is for Dane Calloway. So where are the black people who are writing in the 1700s and the 1800s with the narrative that we always been here and they are calling us Africans, and that we are not, and that we are not, and that we are not from the.
Okay, so let's get this clear because Rob Bourne is going to bring this back around. Okay, watch how your chief tiptoe around this, right? Instead of just getting to the point like he is a chief and coming with that real knowledge. Rob Bourne asks, where are the writers who are black or Negro or Indian with the misnomers Negro and black? Where are these people in the 1700s and the 1800s who wrote that we are Aboriginal, that we are not African Americans, that we do not have African ancestry, and that we always been here? Watch how this nigga plays on your emotions.
Diaspora of the slave trade. Where do we write that?
Black people didn't exist until the U.S. Census was started.
Okay, so you want to play word games. The people who wrote...
You said black.
Okay, the people who wrote for themselves, who look like me, and some may look like you, and Sarnetta, those people, the melanated people, those people, since you like that word, where are they writing that they are not people of African descent and that they did not come from the slave trade in the 17 and 1800s? Where's that at?
It's everywhere.
I'm talking to Dane.
So the brother said, where is that at? Like, give us references. And this nigga gonna say, it's everywhere. That's easy. I could pull that up. I got proof of that. So that's what he asking you, Dane. He asking you, who are the writers? Who are the authors aside from yourself that started writing in 2015? Nigga, we dealing with time. We looking for historical records. We looking for references. All right? 1700s, 1800s. Who's standing on what you're talking about, Dane, back then? That's what he asking you. Let's go with the Gregory Hines. Nigga tap dancing.
I'm talking to Dane. Let him pull it up with ease. Where are they at?
They everywhere.
Where did you understand the question, Dane? The question is, where are the people who are of African, who say they are of African descent, saying that they are being called some?
Now watch. He about to play on your emotions. Watch what he says. Pay attention. This is a debate tactic. Okay? That's why you got to be calm in dealing with some of these phonies. Right? But the things that this nigga is saying, right, is fucking with people's emotions. You talking about hundreds of years of people believing or thinking or reasoning or knowing our background, the history of America, And this nigga right here decided, I'm gonna go against all of that. Right? And I'm an Indian. And we just asking, when was that protest, Dane? Okay? Not a 1980s protest. Not a 1990s protest. It was no black Indian protest in the 1980s, my Negro. There was definitely no 1990s protesting, standing on business. Not to say it wasn't no blacks out there who wasn't saying that they had Indian ancestry or Native American ancestry. I'll give you one, Cree Summers off A Different World. I believe she's always said that she was a Cherokee or things of that nature. There are various black people, right, within the black community who have said, okay, I am African, of African ancestry, and Native American mix. In fact, that's what the black Indian is. Okay, it's a mixture, right? But it ain't never been no protests. We want to know the 1950s, 30s, 40s, 60s. Okay? Matter of fact, in the 60s, let's see, right quick. American Indian Movement, 1960s, okay? 1960s. You want to clown the Black Panthers, right? Now, are you going to say those are Native Americans? They stole your name then. This is the American Indian Movement, right? The American Indian Movement, 1960s. And this didn't crack off until the Black Panthers stood firm and linked up, okay? The American Indian Movement. They wasn't doing this until the brothers did it, all right? The brothers did this. The brothers showed them how to do this. The brothers and sisters. We can't leave our sisters out, okay? Indian land. Where is the Negroes at? Where is the Negroes at? So the brothers is asking you, okay? The brothers is asking you, where is our riders that look like us? That's pulling the Dane Calloway. Let's get back to it.
Something that they are not. They are originally Aboriginal, and that we are being called African. We did not come from the slave trade. Where are the black
There's no people
fighting?
You can say your opinion if you want, Dane.
There's
Dane,
people out there right now that used to be claiming.
I think Sal Netter said, I couldn't hear him, but I think he said you can share your screen, Dane. And the nigga chose to talk.
That they were African descent, that went on ahead and said, you know what, I was taught a lie. I know better than that now. I actually found out what.
If you forgot before I went and showed you the American Indian Movement, right? I said, watch what he say to play on your emotions. This nigga talking about right now. I know black people who used to say they was African Americans and they done did their genealogy and they converted to Indian.
What happened by conducting genealogy on my family, and they found out who their family were and disassociated themselves with Africa because they have nothing to do with it.
I can agree with you.
Plenty of people out there.
I can agree with you in 2023. That's not the question, brother. The question is the people of the 1700s.
Nobody considered themselves.
That's not the question, brother.
Nobody considered themselves Africans in the 1600s.
I never said that, brother, and I didn't say that, and that is true. They did. I said I gave you a specific date. I said,
but I told the reason why I'm telling you that is because 1600s they considered themselves who they were.
So is that the same for Indians? Would that be the same for Indians?
Which was whatever tribe they were associated with, which still has nothing to do with Africa.
Right.
They didn't consider.
It still has nothing to do with Africa. Africans call themselves by their tribes. He just admitted that, right? So it's Africans in America.
Consider themselves Indians until the government came up with that terminology.
Right. So
what? The Indians didn't call themselves Indians until the government came up with that terminology. Let me see if I can go back.
Indians until the government came up with that terminology.
Right.
They didn't consider themselves Indians until the government came up with that terminology.
Right.
They didn't consider themselves Indians until the government came up with that terminology.
Right. So now when you get into the 1500s, you're dealing now with the people who brought the people of African descent to America, right? So when you deal with 1501,
allegedly,
and then no, not allegedly, 1492 on the boat with Columbus is a person named Juan Portuguese. We have his documents and the actual primary of who he is. He is a person of African descent.
How do you know he's a person of African descent?
I'm not finished. I'm not done, bro. I'm not done. But this is the point. The point here is this.
So we skipping past that part, huh?
No, we're not skipping the passage.
So how is he a person of African descent?
Listen, okay, we're going to go real slow for you because you're not understanding the question. The question is, where are the people, black people, native people?
Look, then he try to go with a question after that.
Yo, you got to get quiet. Top Cat, you got to, hold on, bro.
Hold on, y'all, let me answer the question.
Top Cat,
y'all got to let him get the question out. Let him get the question out, y'all.
Yo, bro, you gotta mute your mic, fam. Let me talk to this dude. Stop trying to jump in, bro. You can jump in after he answers the question.
Calm down, brother. Calm down, brother. You don't gotta yell.
From the 1700s, when black people first formed their organizations, what do they name it? African Union Society.
When you say black people, who are you referring to, bro?
I'm talking to the people who wrote for themselves, who are melanated, who look like me and you.
Did they call themselves black?
They call, yes. Richard Allen in 1789.
They called themselves black?
Yes. He actually.
Was that documented?
Yes, it's called The Message to the Black People of Philadelphia.
No, did they call? That's not what I said. I said that they called themselves black.
Yes, you heard my question. You heard what I said. Richard Allen and Absalom Jones. Richard Allen and Absalom Jones wrote a decree called Message to the Black People of Philadelphia during the Yellow Fever because they was helping protect the people in that Pacific area. Who is the black people they talking to? Now
I'm asking, are these people black?
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you who they.
You said it was a message to black people. Did they consider themselves black people?
Yes, because that's who they're talking to, bro.
Just because that's who they talking to?
No.
So that's an assumption.
No, it's not an assumption. You're making up things. Again, we're going with the written record.
Actually, you are.
Okay. So, bro.
Do you see how he's playing on your emotions, right? And this is why he just came to make you think, okay? Because he knows this is going to be controversial, okay? And what does controversy breed? It breeds attention. In the case of YouTube, it gets you to run to his channel, right? And that's what he needs, attention.
I'm not done.
Hey, can I share my screen?
Can I finish going, bro? So now,
all right, hold on, Rob. Let Rob finish, and I'm gonna let you share your screen.
When we looking at the narrative of melanated people, we're dealing with our origin here in this country. When we look at the first organization we built, I'm going to say it again, African Union Society, made by Newport Gardner and Abraham Casey, who spoke their language. They then begin to detail why they're doing this. They're telling you that they were taken from the African continent. They're telling you what the purpose of this. These individuals are in contact with the free blacks from New York, free blacks from Philadelphia, free blacks from Boston, and they're all talking about how to liberate and free black people. The question is, how come every time we look in the records from the ending of the slave trade from 1808 to 1807, that was a holiday all through the Black Americas where we celebrated the end of this, from sermons going all down the line? How come not one black person said that we always been here and we are not of African descent? We originally the Aboriginal, Indian, or whatever name you want to name it.
So he brought it back again. Okay, we're still in the 1700s, the 1800s. Who wrote that we were Aboriginal, originally from these lands after the ending of slavery, right? Who wrote this information standing on exactly what Dane Calloway is standing on? Okay. Who was Dane Calloway's predecessor? If he doesn't have one, then he's fucking making this shit up. Facts. He can't be the only one.
Where's that information?
Let him speak. Go ahead.
That terminology wasn't even being used back then, man. Nobody agreed to the. Hold up, let me finish. Hold up, brother. Calm down. Calm down.
You gotta let him finish.
Let me finish. That terminology wasn't even being used until the 1950s. And the terminology that I'm talking about amongst the people, not just the U.S. Census, the people, they didn't agree to that term black until the 1950s, 1960s. Prior to that, it was derogatory. Nobody agreed with anybody stating the term black.
Well, that could be true depending on what area, region you are in. Okay, that might be more true for the South, might be different from the North. Okay, you being a separatist, Dane Calloway.
Because that was a derogatory statement. That's just like you calling somebody a nigger.
Okay, so we have a mutual aid society called the Black Men of Color in the 1790s in North Carolina.
That does. I just said that now nobody's going to agree with that. Not everybody agreed with that. Just like not everybody agreed with the Black Panthers because of the black part.
Bro, listen, I don't know what you're talking about. Again, what we're talking about, you're making claims saying that people didn't call themselves black. It wasn't popular until the 1950s. You didn't want to try to play.
And I can prove it.
You did. No, you can't.
He said he could prove it twice. He ain't proved nothing yet.
Never can. And then you want to run around.
Don't tell me I never can. You don't know what I have. Don't tell me I never can.
What do you say?
Wasn't popular until the 1950s. You didn't want to try to play.
And I can prove it.
You did. No, you can't. You never can. And then you want to run around.
Don't tell me I never can.
Wasn't popular until the 1950s. You didn't want to try to play.
And I can prove it.
You did. No, you can't. You never can. And then you want to run around.
Don't tell me I never can. You don't know what I have.
Again. So here's the evidence, right? The ending of the slave.
Brother, calm down a little bit. Brother, have a general conversation with me. Calm down. You don't got to get off.
All right, I'm going to leave that guy right there, man. I'm done with that. Okay, so Dane Calloway answered no questions.